Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 EX diesel. This car's covered just 62,000 miles rather, finished in black with a full black leather interior. It's in very, very nice condition. I'll go around the car for you. Front of the car, lights and lenses clear, intact, no cracks or condensation. Bumper very, very clean indeed for a car this age. Likewise, bonnet of the car, very clean, hardly a stone chip of any note. I mean, there will be one or two, but they certainly don't stand out. Near side of the vehicle, lovely and smooth in the panel work, no obvious marks that I can see. I did see one minuscule indentation, but I'll try and get to it when I can. Alloys look really, really good. The bird dropping unfortunately managed to land on the car, but just come around here. I mean, it is tiny, so it's, I'm not even sure you can see it, but it's just the tiniest little dink, but I try and pick up where I can, what I can. Again, rear alloy really nice. Around the back, bumper corners very clean and tidy, the main areas that get damaged on cars. Then around to the offside, driver's side, again lovely and smooth in the panels. Side rear alloy, again very, very nice. Panel work, all very clean and tidy. And then final alloy, absolutely superb. I mean, it really is in lovely condition for a black car that's 7-8 years old now. Only the odd light mark here or there, but very, very few. Coming to the back of the car, absolutely enormous boots in these Civics. 60/40 fold on the rear seats and a dual level floor as well. Coming to the back of the car, wide opening rear doors, and this is where Civics tend to suffer, which is where the kids sit. The leatherwork looks absolutely superb in the car. Coming to the front, the passenger side, again all very clean and tidy. Passenger seat, hardly looks like it's been really used very much. Finally come to the driver's door card, again all very clean. Footwell area is all clean as well. And driver's seat, the only one that shows any kind of wear normally and hardly shows anything at all. Just to quickly show you under the bonnet, I quite often forget to do this, but always beautifully presented by Honda. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dash can be seen illuminated, and it's in lovely condition. Sat nav you can see working perfectly. Pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera. Worth pointing out, when you're stationary, you can actually watch films if you put the DVD in there. But obviously you have to be stationary, it won't work otherwise. But sorry, get the camera in the right position. Just to quickly show you, 62,302 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running. And that basically is the view you get as a driver. It's one of the, I think it's the best dashboard out there by a mile. It looks absolutely stunning. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 EX diesel. This particular car is registered OY13PXU, and mileage at the start is 62,207 miles. The reason, as always, for doing these videos is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at our cars, they actually get to see the car we're advertising in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because we have been to see too many cars only to get there and find out that they've got an issue which we'd much rather known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads, and this forms part of the road test route we take customers on. Hopefully then it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, as you'll know from the advert, it's been very, very well looked after mechanically, and it is immediately obvious. Engine starts instantly, of course, and settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge is currently cold. I like when I can to do the cars when they're stone cold, because obviously problems can manifest themselves at different engine temperatures, so that's why I try and do it. But the engines are simply superb diesel engines. They're tough, reliable engines. as you'd expect of a Honda. They give extraordinary economy, but I always refer to it as real world economy. I've had numerous of these cars and marvelled in the fact that even doing kind of short trips, I'd be pretty much 60 miles to the gallon, and on longer trips, pretty easy to get 70 miles to the gallon just driving with the flow of the traffic. If you're leaden-footed or intend to hold it in lower gears than you should, then you won't get the economy, but it's not an engine that you can't get the economy, and as I said, relatively easily. That would all be fine and dandy if the engine was loud, raucous and rattly. You wouldn't want to sit behind it, but it isn't. It's very smooth and quiet when you're up and running. Only noticeably a diesel that idle in the lower gears, which even Honda can't engineer out. But in day-to-day driving, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th gears, motorway, main road, it's as quiet as a petrol car in that sense. But it's a lovely, lovely unit to use. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car, absolutely perfect. Smooth in the pedal travel, bite point exactly where it's meant to be. So all good there. And the gearbox is typical of Honda, it's just beautifully done. Pretty much all modern engines that are transverse front wheel drive things. The gear change is actually via cables, which is better for lots of reasons. Not always better when it comes to actually the use of the gear lever. Too many cars you get into, they feel light, lifeless, vague, and this is the opposite. It literally feels like that gear lever goes straight to the gearbox underneath. It's got that kind of mechanical, weighty feel to it. Short and throw, wonderful action to it, and feels absolutely as new as you'd expect Honda to do, and it's an incredibly tough box. Steering of the car, again, absolutely superb. It's quick, it's precise, it's beautifully weighted in terms of the weighting on the road is very, very well done, but it's the accuracy and precision that the steering gives, which is wonderful. It also tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit, in fact. But the steering and the chassis work in harmony, so go through a corner like this a little bit quicker than I would do normally. Hardly have to turn the wheel, and it just flows through the corner. The composure, the damping of the suspension is beautifully done, so it glides through. You can go at speed with these cars if you're enthusiastic, and they reward. The flip side of it is, when you're not in the mood, you've got this very comfortable, beautifully judged ride. It's absolutely superb, and there's no nasty sort of clattering or knocking noises coming from underneath the vehicle. It shouldn't be there. It's just gone through an MOT with no advisories, so it's obviously in good order. Brakes on the car, I'm going to give them a hard shove. I'm going to leave it a bit late for my turn here deliberately. Nice and hard enough to actually get the hazard lights to come on, which is part of the safety system of the car. And again, we know they're good, but it's, what's nice is the fact that when you do press them, it bites nice and well, positively rather, but also there's no kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in very, very good order there indeed. So coming inside, unfortunately the sun, awful thing to say, isn't it, when you don't want the sun to come out, but there we go. It's not very good for videos, it makes it a bit glary in here, but a brilliant interior on these cars, and just amazingly well built. No squeaks, rattles, nothing at all, and this is real build quality, not funky doors and squidgy plastics. This is assembly of the interior components, which is what Honda do absolutely superbly. And I'm fully aware that the interior is about as classic a Marmite interior as you can get, because you either love it or you just don't, and I think that's brilliant. Good design, I think, should polarise opinion, and this certainly does, but for me it just fits like a glove, but it works. It's not a gimmick. The fact is, the centre part's actually quite standard. It's the same as many cars, but nicely done. Sat nav working perfectly, dual zone climate control system, to giving different temperatures side to side. Again, all working exactly as it should and blowing out absolutely ice cold air. Heated seats, again, working exactly as they should. But my favourite part is this wonderful two-tier design. So the upper section is the information you want to look at most readily. You've got your clock, your information pad up there. should you change the temperature or radio, it comes up high up in a bigger display, so you're not having to look down into the bowels of the car. But the best is still the digital speedo slap bang in the middle, high up there. Basically means as you're driving along, you can look straight ahead at the road, pedestrians, cyclists, whatever. But at all times you can see your speed clearly. And as I say, pretty much every video now, I get bored of saying it really, but it is to Honda's eternal shame that they've decided to shove that into the binnacle underneath for no good reason at all, because it just kind of gets lost in the other displays, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm just one voice. Down below that, you've got this pod of 3 dials, big rev counter dominating the middle, flanked by your whoops daisy, your fuel gauge and temperature gauge. Temperature gauge, by the way, now running as a 3rd, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. Steering wheel, thick rimmed, leather bound, perfect diameter, perfect. It feels great to hold, it really does. I mean, these are superb cars. It's why they're dearer than the equivalent things like Focuses and Astras and Renaults and Peugeots of this world, because they're better, is the long and short of it. But it is a car that's it's good to own, as you'd expect of a Honda, because they're well built and reliable. But it's also an interesting car. It's a car that you get into and you're not just faced with the normal dash and all the normal features. It's got something a little bit different, and I think that Honda should be applauded for that. It's a wonderful vehicle, and I can find absolutely no faults in it driving the car at all. It drives simply beautifully.